Welcome back to episode 3 of my New Earth Creative Leader podcast. I'm your host, Serena, and I'm helping you through creating your soul-aligned business. All the principles, all the goodies, all the shadow work, all the aligned intention that you need in order to move forward in a soul-aligned way. So I want to say welcome to the episode. Today we are talking all about money, about intention, and about activating those abundance codes. Now, I hesitated talking about this today because I'm actually in the midst of this myself, but my intention for this podcast is to share what I am actually moving through in my life. So that being said, I felt like, okay, maybe this is actually the perfect topic to talk about right now because I am going to share why so many coaches' advices on abundance and manifesting more wealth is not working for you. So that is one of the main things that we're going to be talking about today and why it comes in all shapes and sizes, how you can't compare your abundance journey to somebody else's. So with that being said, I want to just share because I feel like I'm a glowing auntie on our farm. So I live on a farm with my parent-in-laws, my mother and father-in-law, and then brother-in-law and sister-in-law. And they just welcomed their third baby girl into the world. And I feel so, so happy. I feel overjoyed. I feel blushing and blooming and glowing. And I'm just so excited and so happy. And they're all doing well. They're healthy and recovering. And I just want to share that with you guys because it's like this is a very exciting thing in my world. I'm an auntie again. But this time I get to witness and watch this beautiful child grow up in the world. So yeah, I feel super, super blessed and send lots of love and well wishes this way. I'm sure they could use it. But now let's dive into the topic today. So abundance is something that has a different appearance in everybody's reality. For some people, abundance is just being able to pay the bills on time. For others, abundance is investing money, having so much money saved up in a bank, or having a certain dollar amount that you reach every month. And if you are building a soul-aligned business, it's incredibly important for you to first identify what does abundance mean to you? What does that look like for you? And likely, if you are seeing this episode, it's likely that you are already in your own process because, right, when we start diving into this idea of tearing down the old 3D matrix blueprint and starting our own businesses, coming from heart-centered business, alignment, soul-led business first. That breaks down a lot when it comes to money, when it comes to old institutions. And so what you first have to do before you even try to manifest more money, you first have to ask yourself, what is abundance to me? What would truly make me feel abundant? Am I searching for freedom? Am I searching for time? Am I searching for security? Out of money, what is it that I want to get? Again, we're talking about intention here. Intention is everything. When I want more money, what am I actually trying to get? What am I actually trying to create? Am I trying to create more time for myself to do the things that I want to do? Am I trying to create a sense of security that I know when and where and how? Or a sense of security that I can create what I want to create in my life, right? This answer is going to be different for all of us. So on your New Earth business journey, it's very important to first define what that means to you, and then you can move forward. So I want to share a personal example because this is, you guys, this is not at all how I thought this was going to show up for me in my life. And this is like literally completely blown my mind because if you can't already tell or you don't already know me, I am a pretty like by the book person. Like I like my rules. I like my routines. I like my safety and security. And so I'll give you the story here. When Claire was born, so this is about 2 years ago, when Claire was born, we had a little bit of money saved up, but I was not in a receiving place. So I want to be very clear about how I tell this story. I was not in a receiving place. So I did not feel worthy of receiving things from my husband, James. I felt like a burden. I felt like because I wasn't working, I was addressing all the ways in which my value as a human was tied to money and tied to working and what I could output. And then being a mother completely flipped that on its head for me. I felt super unvaluable. I felt like, what is my role in the world? Who am I, right? All these things that new mothers go through. But mine was very specifically tied to business and my worth and money. And so what I was doing at that time was I didn't want the full financial burden to be on James. And at a certain point, we had burned through our savings. And so I started putting stuff on my credit card. I started putting groceries on my credit card. I started, being like, okay, well, I'm going to get back into work. I'm going to do this. And lo and behold, everything took longer than what I thought it was. And then I found myself a year later in a credit trap, right? The interest rate was too high. I didn't have enough income coming in. And I could really only afford to pay the minimum balance. Now, if you've dealt with credit cards before, you understand that that doesn't work very well. You end up paying multiple times what you even first purchased, and then you end up drowning yourself or maxing out your credit card or whatever it might be. For me, it was all of those things. And so recently, what happened to me was that I realized that I'm playing into, by paying my credit card, by resolving my debts of things energetically years ago, I am playing into a system that I don't believe in, I don't like, and I don't trust. And again, when you're creating your New Earth business, this is something that all of you are going to have to address at one time or another. How much in the system do I want to be involved? How do I create routines and systems that work for me within the matrix, right? Do I do this with my taxes? Do I invest my money? Do I do savings? All of you are going to have to make these financial decisions, and making them from a place of alignment versus fear is where so much internal belief system work comes in. And so for me, I had a revelation a few days ago that was like this major aha moment of like, Serena, you need to stop paying your credit card and close down your US accounts. And I was like, terrified, okay? Terrified. And everything started running through my head. I'm a bad person. I used that money and now I can't pay it back, or now I'm not going to pay it back. Is this going to do something bad to me karmically? And so I have processed a lot on this. And this is specifically speaking to those of you that have maybe significant debt, still paying contracts that you don't use anymore or you don't believe in anymore, things like that. But what I want to share here about this topic is, again, it's your intention is everything. I had every intention to pay those things back. Right? I had every intention to pay those things back. I was not in the mindset of like, yeah, I'm just going to use money and do nothing with it. But I also realized that I am actually hurting myself by continuing to make those payments and to not release myself and allow myself to start over. Now, on a very practical level, that's the energetic, emotional level, right? But on the very practical level, you also have to consider the fact that it's a very small amount of debt, okay? It's under $10,000 of debt. So it's a very small amount of debt considering most of the United States debt ratios. I also no longer live in the United States. So in terms of what a creditor could do to me is very, very limited, okay? So you also have to consider, like, this is the thing, like, I'm also exchanging a very poor US credit score, right? And perhaps not being able to open another credit card for a very long time or do anything like that with credit, right? So I'm like essentially removing myself from the US monetary system, which feels to me really scary because I've had a bank account since I was like 14 or 15 years old. That's, double the amount of time. And so this felt really, really scary to begin with. But the freedom of I keep my money feels so much freer. And let me know down below. There's so much rumblings, you guys, going on about, currency falling and the systems actually falling apart. So part of me wonders if this is like a premonition of something that's to come. I don't know. I don't do a lot of research on this, so you guys will have to let me know what you know and what you think. If these, world currencies are going to be falling and we're going to be making a new system sometime soon, then maybe this also makes sense on a very practical level. But I'll be completely honest, there was so much shame that came up when this realization hit me. It was like, oh my God, so much shame. Am I going to be in something bad karmically is going to happen to me from this? And the most important thing to realize about karma is karma does not punish actions. It punishes intention, right? So you can have two people doing the same exact action with two very different intentions, and that is going to create two radically different karmic worlds and karmic kickbacks, or whatever you might want to call it. So it's not necessarily about the action per se, it's about the intention behind the action. So those of you that are struggling in the area of abundance, the question I would ask you is, yes, 100% pursue all the ways of making more money, manifesting the wealth that you desire, but also, what are you not letting go of, right? We don't actually, a lot of times we look at abundance as a very masculine thing. And I'm going to actually talk about the feminine aspect of abundance, because we usually look at abundance like, I need to make more money, right? I need to create it. I need to manifest it. I need to do something to get me more money, right? And that is the very masculine way of creating money. Now, if you are a feminine-led person, if you are looking to activate more of your feminine abundance codes, the two things that you need to look at are, where am I not letting go of what I need to be letting go of, right? Where am I still holding weight that I should be letting myself let go of? This could be anything energetically, because, right, abundance isn't just money, it's surplus. It's energy at the end of the day, right? So let go of the currency or the paper or the actual physical thing and say it's energy. So where am I holding on to stagnant energy? Where am I not allowing myself to start over? Where am I not letting go? I'm not surrendering. And then the other aspect of that is, where am I not willing to receive? So I found, this is so interesting. Again, the universe doesn't categorize things as money, love, health, well-being. We as humans use those categorizations and those labels. The universe sees energy. The universe sees movement and flow. So when you are not willing to receive love from your partner, maybe wealth is tied to that receptivity, right? Where you are in a lack of health, maybe you are tying that also to your ability to receive money. So we can't just look at just money. We have to look at our overall ability to receive in our lives. And if there's other lack in your life, that is because there is a lack of ability to receive, right? You don't want something to come in. And the question to ask yourself when you have this, when you realize, oh my God, yeah, that's actually what's coming up for me. I'm afraid to let things in. You have to address that fear and say, what am I afraid of? What am I afraid is going to happen if I let this thing in? What am I afraid is going to take place if I allow more in, right? Our ability, it's like a muscle. Our ability to receive has to be expanded. Our ability to let go have to be expanded. Both of these things are muscles. So in order to actually get and keep more, right? Because a lot of that has to do with the frequencies that we're at. If we have, and this is why it's so interesting when you see people, it's super common when somebody wins the lottery and they lose or spend all the money. It's because they energetically couldn't hold that frequency. They got it in and then it instantly went right back out. Okay. It's because energetically we couldn't hold the frequency. So not only do we have to access our receiving and our letting go of other things, we also have to stretch that muscle. We have to allow more in and hold it, and allow more in and hold it, right? So many of us want to just let it go right away, right? Or get it out of here. And this can show up in so many different ways, so many different stories. This plays out in a infinite number of ways. But when we're talking about new earth business, we're talking about creating something that's aligned with your soul, that operates under that unlimited mindset, unlimited belief system, that belief system that you are the source of everything, right? There is nothing that you are lacking. And so when we do have this fear-based belief system of I don't have enough, or I can't let that in, or that's not safe, we have to look and address those belief systems, because I know you know that that is not your true nature. That belief system is not your true nature. That belief system is actually keeping you from your true nature. So accessing your own abundance codes for many of you in your soul aligned business is going to be rewriting, repatterning those masculine design systems, right? We grew up in a patriarchal society. So it's natural that when many of us want to make money, we go to our masculine side. We say, I need to do this, I need to do that. And for some of us, that is true. But for others of us, we have to learn how to receive more. We have to stretch that muscle, allow more in. And when I say this, it could be something very practical, like letting a friend buy you dinner and just saying thank you, right? Allowing somebody to do something for you, allowing somebody to do the dishes for you, allowing somebody to give you a foot massage, or allowing for somebody to pay for your coffee, even if it's a stranger or something like that, to just allow people to do things for you. Letting more in and just saying, thank you, I am worthy. That's nice. I like that. And knowing that it's not dangerous. It's not dangerous to receive more. It actually will help you serve more. When you think about your new earth business, the more money that you make, the more capital that you have within your business, the more you are able to serve. Right? You already know, again, we tie so much of our identities to money. And this is why for me, letting go of my debts and saying, I'm going to close out my US system, it's like an ego death in a way, because I tied I'm a good person for paying back my debts, right? I'm a good person for making myself suffer through paying this exorbitant amount of debt, like monthly payments wise, and knowing that that chunk of money could actually be going to helping my family and building our new lives and building what we want to build in this world. Yet sometimes I fall into this trap where I'm so loyal, and I've done this in relationships my entire life. So it's so funny that I didn't catch it in this way either, where I've stuck in relationships far longer than I should have out of the loyalty factor. I don't want to hurt them. I'm a good person. I see the potential. I see what it could be, while neglecting like, hey, this is actually hurting you right now. This is actually not good for you right now, Serena. Why are you not seeing this? And so what I'm doing now is I'm saying, actually, I need to put myself first. I need to put my family first. And this is the most practical, logical decision I could make for my finances at this time. And this is why it's such like a mind F. It's such a mind F, because That's not what I expected. I expected, oh, I'm tapping into abundance code. I already have so much more abundance coming into my life. I did not expect it to be switched around into letting something go. I was like, oh no, it's just more is going to come in, more is going to manifest. And I was repeating to spirit, show me the easiest way. Show me the way where I don't have to do anything. And that was what it was showing me, was like, Serena, let go of the old energy that you're holding on to. Let go of all of that. And you have to, in order to move forward into the world that you want to live in. So many of you also, this is going to be about closing out old relationships, closing out old contracts, right? If you've had like a phone contract for years and you know it's not really serving your needs anymore, why are you still holding on to it, right? Like this is about closing out the things that you are still tying yourself to out of loyalty and saying like, actually, no, I need to do what's best for myself in this circumstance. I need to do what's best for me in this circumstance and stop allowing, again, this comes down to your business decisions need to be made from a neutral place. Your business decisions shouldn't be made from an emotional place. And this is where, again, we choose the feminine or we choose the masculine. Money is very neutral. It's a tool. So if we're making decisions about money from a very emotional or overly attached place, that's going to show in everything. Whereas if I say, hey, what's the practical application of this? Does it actually make sense that I'm paying this right now? Does it actually make sense that I'm doing this? No, it doesn't. So I need to change what I'm doing. I need to make a new system for myself that actually benefits me and my life, right? So me switching over my currencies to an international banking system that actually I can change back and forth from the currency where I'm living to the United States currency that I work in so much easier. Like, Serena, that makes practical sense. So you have to consider, especially if you're a digital nomad like me, you have to consider these things, right? From a very practical lens of like, okay, does it make sense to do what I'm doing? Am I staying in this just out of loyalty? Am I staying in this just because it's a lot of work? It might be some work, some paperwork. You might have to confront some people, right? This is kind of like if you know you need to fire somebody, it's not good for your business. You know you need to fire somebody, but yet you're like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to make them their day bad. And the answer is you have to do it. If you know it's not right, it's not working anymore, when that awareness comes to you, you got to act on that awareness. And for me, this is just the outfit. This is just the costume that this is coming in right now. And I just want to say that I'm super shocked by it. I would love to know your comments below on how this is showing up for you in your life right now. What have you been doing to activate your own abundance codes? And if you are interested in more support in awakening your own New Earth blueprint for your soul-aligned business, I have a free resource for you down below. This is my 10 soul principles. And this is going to speak to that aspect of you that wants alignment in your business so bad, that wants you to embody your power, not just make decisions out of fear or scarcity or lack. This is going to speak to that depth part of yourself. So if you're in the process of creating this new business, then this is the soul principles for you. You can grab it down below, and we will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for being here today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Big love. Bye.